Okay, good, beautiful. So we're all set, everybody. Welcome here to our special third chakra event. We kind of engaged in that or kind of dove into the topic a little bit on Monday also, because when we start to really dive deeply into this topic of our energetic system, the chakras, how we balance the energetic system, how we bring more consciousness into other areas of our lives for our well-being, for our personal development, for our spiritual growth. It's really very profound information. And so you're going to take away some powerful tools here, and that's the idea, and hopefully gain some deeper awareness of what this third chakra is about. And so that's what Joe is going to be sharing with us here today in this particular journey. So welcome everybody, and now hand it over to Mr. Joe.
Yeah,
Welcome,
thank you.
Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Sylvie. And I see some definitely familiar faces and names, and so yeah, it's great to be here sharing. Typically, or not typically, but for the past year, my journey's been quite interesting. Where I was in India for a few months, deepening my understanding of yogic philosophy and practice, and it's definitely shaped a lot of my spirituality and current path. And then I felt this call to Costa Rica. So most of the work that I've been doing is based in Costa Rica with retreats, and thanks to soul dimension breathing and Sylvie, breathwork is a big part of my practice. And as I've gotten deeper into the path, and even asked Sylvie this, there's a lot that's even happening in this practice that we do with soul dimension that when you come to free breathing, or even when you're, let me let somebody in. When you come to the free breathing session, or just are like curious about the practice, most breathwork practices are actually rooted in ancient practices. We've been breathing for thousands of years, and so a lot even within soul dimension. As we're breathing, we're moving energy up through the base of our spine, through our chakras, into our third eye, as we cue a lot with this particular practice. And so for some individuals, and I even remember I took a chakra class with Sylvie a couple of years ago, which is interesting. But for some individuals that are on the path, whatever that path is for you, the breath starts to kind of loosen things, and you start remembering and maybe deepening into wanting to learn more, and particularly wanting to learn more about the chakras, which, whether you're following a Buddhist practice or a yogic practice, like there's a lot of similarities with these energy centers within the body, and they actually hold quite a bit of imprints, karma, could be blockages, could be things that even the mind can't really comprehend, but it exists somewhere in the body. And so oftentimes with soul dimension breathing, even, Sylvie or I will cue you and say, you may start to notice different sensations in the bodies, or releases of certain things, or sounds that come up. As I've been deepening some of my work on the path, there's definitely a strong connection between the breath and the body, and particularly in these areas, these energy wheels, these chakras, where we're storing certain things, and a lot of times it's unconscious. So with that, maybe we'll bring some consciousness to these parts of the body, and particularly today we'll focus on is the solar plexus area. And I have, last time I shared just one or two slides that I had, and I thought I would do the same today. And it might be your first time. Again, we're all on this journey of self-realization, self-discovery, this inward process. And we're all exactly where we need to be. And we're visiting or revisiting this topic and remembering more and more each time. And so for some of you, it might be your first time. Maybe it's you're deep into this work and deep into studying the chakras. And maybe we can learn from you. So there's no particular process for looking at the chakras in terms of like a linear format. I've worked just with Sylvie in the past few months, starting with the root chakra and then moving up to the sacral chakra and then the solar plexus area. However, when we work with them, there's no necessarily like linear format, and we can work with multiple chakras at once, but for the purposes of today, we'll focus just on this one particular chakra. So, 1 second. I go back to screen. And can you see the screen here? It might be a little small. Yeah. Yeah, I just like to kind of orient and start with this particular slide because for a lot of folks, yeah, maybe it's a review or it's new information, but here are the 7 chakras and where they're located, and just some general kind of high-level information. As I've been deepening my practice and studying, I really associate with the elements, and it helps me kind of feel into the parts of the body where the energy of these chakras lie. So the root chakra is located in the base of the spine, the coccyx center, associated with the earth element. The sacral chakra is located kind of 1.5 inches above that, and it's associated with kind of the sexual organs in that area and associated with water. And then where we'll spend time today is the lumbar center, the solar plexus, Manipura, the city of jewels, or lustrous jewel, and associated with the fire element. So a lot of what I'll share with you, whether it's through the seed sound or some chanting that we do to kind of warm up the breath, or the meditation and the affirmation, will be really around this theme of this part of the body and fire, or this element fire. So the other thing I'll point out, we won't get to it today, but when we do approach this particular topic, that there are 2 points in how we've come to kind of learn about or know the third eye. And so the third eye is actually the chakra, which is the Christ consciousness, the seat of intuition, the space between your eyebrows. It has both a north and a south pole, because as we're breathing, we're really sending energy up through the chakras to the third eye, and even Sylvie or I will cue this, and then back down to the base of the spine, and then back up, back down. So as we move this energy up, there's actually a space through which most of the cosmic energy from the universe or the world around us is actually entering into our medulla oblongata. This is the southern end of the third eye. This is also the seat of the ego. And so it's kind of located where, if you feel like the indent right where your brainstem is, like the base of your skull, this is the medulla oblongata. And when you hear people talk about like awakening or enlightenment and kind of, seeing through their third eye, a lot of that energy, as we're doing in this practice, we're pulling the breath up through this seat, and we are loosening our grip on the sense of I, the self, to connect with our higher self, our higher state of consciousness and well-being. So again, won't spend a ton of time there, but I do think like this is just a really important diagram because this is the essence of soul dimension breathing at its core. Can you see this one now? Yeah. So I on my path, I've just been really fascinated with a couple of things, but just to review, the solar plexus is located in the lumbar center just above the navel. So a few fingers up, maybe 4 fingers up from the navel, that space there. And it's also, if you just even start to kind of move it around a little bit in clockwise or counterclockwise motion, this area with your hands. I don't know if you can kind of see my hands, but if you even just start to, the interesting thing about this area is it's actually, it sits right below the diaphragm. And so when you're deepening into soul dimension or just any breath work, the diaphragm, you can also start to loosen a little bit with your fingers. It sits right below the ribs. But I find this to be really incredible, this chakra, because it is such a powerful center for us. It is the seat of vitality. It is the seat of willpower. It has elements associated with whether it's overactive or underactive, but a lot of ancient practices talk about kind of this is fire. This is chi, this is prana, where we store or we accumulate this great energy force within us. So as you're thinking about kind of just this space and maybe even moving it around, and it's also where, as we're eating and digesting, one of the most powerful substances in our body, bile, which is breaking down foods and complex substances, lives in this area, which is fire, right? So there's so much that physiologically is happening in this area. And there's also so much spiritually that's happening, energetically that's happening in this area. When we breathe in from the base of the spine and we move energy up through this chakra, we're combining air and fire and continuing to send it and purify it up into our heart and then into our throat and then into our third eye. So this is a very powerful part of the breathing journey and the path to self-realization. Just looking at a few qualities here of if it's overactive or underactive, what it looks like, what it feels like. So a lot of times if it's, I like to say that, in this area, there's control, there's anger, there's doubt. So there's a lot of emotion in this particular area. There's a lot of influence in our life. So if it's underactive, maybe it feels like shame or disempowerment, and could look like low self-worth or lack of drive. And the healing path is kind of awakening this fire and taking aligned action. Again, so a lot of that happens with the breath. If it's overactive or you notice that there's excessive energy in this particular chakra, maybe there's a lot of ego around kind of success or even control and aggression, manipulation. And so healing looks like kind of combining the fire from this area with the love of the heart chakra and the heart center. And when this area is balanced, Again, there's confidence, there's vitality, there's purposeful action, um, confidence, joy, motivation, discipline. And you're really kind of acting from this place of truth and embodying soul power. So I know that maybe that's a lot of information, but I just wanted to take a second to pause and see if, I don't know, if there's any questions or anything anybody wants to add.
Joe, this is Alberto. So one quick question, clarification.
Yep.
So when this center, which is above the or below this, well, in the solar plexus, below the diaphragm, is underactive, you mean that's for people that um, are like don't have self-value, too much self-value. They are kind of how should I say, too dependent on others. Is that the case?
Yeah, it can be. I think it shows up as like maybe feeling powerless, um, or stuck, or low motivation. So not necessarily channeling like vitality and willpower and self mastery even. So yeah, underactive I'd say is low kind of motivation and feeling like stuck or powerless. And overactive being like wanting to control so much, this illusion of control that it shows itself as like being perfect or overworking or burning out. That word burning out is pretty much, I'd say, everywhere in the Western world right now. That's the closest word that we have to safely describe the suffering that a lot of people are experiencing is burnout. And burnout comes from that need for kind of continued success and validation and having just feeling like that's a process that we can control. um,
So it could be also lack of self-esteem, or is that something different?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
I will just add a little something because this is interesting too. Is it's true. Like if we have low self-confidence, a sense of low self-esteem, a low sense of self-worth, then this is a sign of an imbalanced, you could say, third chakra, where we haven't taken the journey, has not opened up enough into us to where we have found our inner fire. Our inner fire also, this means our fire of determination and ability to focus, a sense of clarity. Okay, because without clarity, without a sense of direction, we cannot harness that energy. So part of the journey here too is kind of recognizing where maybe we could improve certain, aspects of our digestive fire, but also our mental fire of determination, of focus. And so part of the third chakra too is what do you want to focus on? What do you want to intend? And put your fire, your energy, your determination, your love into, because then the love and the fire can come together and open and direct us to where we need to go. So it's an important part of the third chakra, and what it's really considered too is when we really connect with our true self-worth, which means you're really getting a good high glimpse into your true self rather than your ego self, but your true spiritual essence, right? This becomes a guiding light, and And yogis, we say you're halfway there to awakening. You know, you've really awakened to a very high level of recognizing that you are a spiritual being. And so this is part of that awakening too, of that third chakra. So what are you intending and what do you want to focus on? Put your love and energy into that to develop the third chakra and to help direct your heart and all your energies into the channels that are going to serve you, that are going to connect you with your light and your love. So just want to mention that little bit here.
Yeah, thank you, Sylvie. And thank you, Alberto, for the question. Any other questions or comments or things coming up? Okay. The only other thing I wanted to share before we kind of get into just a bit of practicing and just how I want to expose you to a couple of techniques is if anyone wanted to, and I can share this as well after, but there are a couple questions that I include just in case anything stirs in terms of like wanting to journal after breathing or wanting to revisit this particular area on your own at your own pace. These questions tie in a lot with what Sylvie was talking about, what I've shared a little bit too. So I give you a second again if you wanted to write any of this down for your own process or.
I will say that I changed my Zoom settings too, Joe, so that this should be recorded, these screens.
Oh, great.
So in these particular sessions, I will make sure I share the Zoom recording of this so
Yeah,
that people can also, when they access the replay, they'll be able to see this too.
great.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so before we, for the practice today, and I love just kind of sharing the music that moves me when I think about these chakras too. So I have some of my own music I've prepared. But before we get into kind of the deeper guided soul dimension breathing, I just thought I'd share two techniques with you that are actually pretty beneficial for kind of stimulating this area, the solar plexus. So one is whether you're in a seated position, preferably for these practices, but again, as you know, with soul dimension breathing, when we get into the deeper states, you can be lying down. But the first I'll share with you, and maybe you've heard of it, is called Kapalabhati, which is skull shining breath. So what this looks like is your lips are sealed and you're forcefully exhaling through the nose and passively inhaling through the nose. And you're contracting, just for frame of reference, it's if you kind of know where your perineum is and you imagine like a few inches up from that space, like a fist or a ball of energy there. As you exhale forcefully, you're contracting that space. Okay? So the inhale is passive, the exhale is forceful. This is different than breath of fire. This is just one technique I'll share with you called Kapalabhati, which is skull shining breath. So you'll inhale first before you start, and then when you begin, it's roughly about 30-ish breaths, but again, you'll feel when it's time. But towards the end of your round, exhale all the air out completely before you take your next breath in. Okay, so I'll just kind of demonstrate briefly for you. You won't see, just because I don't know how to do this with the camera, you won't see my body, but I'm contracting on the exhale, this space above my perineum, kind of around my navel area. So inhale. So just demonstrating for you. And again, you'll go through kind of the round at your own pace, but you'll inhale first. And then as you're exhaling, forceful exhalations through the nose, passive inhalation. Okay? And on the exhale, contracting the space above the perineum. Oh, yeah, Sylvie's demonstrating where it is. Um, okay, so you can begin and do about 2 rounds on your own. And I'll be doing this as well. So. Good, and when you're ready, finishing the round that you're on, returning to normal breathing. The next technique that we'll do before we jump into the fuller guided breathing. Oh, let me see if there's any questions, because this is breath of fire, Steve, is forceful exhale and inhale. David, your body doesn't seem to align with instructions. A lot of quick activity in the throat. David, do you mean, can you explain that?
You can unmute yourself, David, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, oops, I got a microphone here. I just didn't, I saw just quick pulsing activity in your throat, quick. There wasn't any sort of what I would say passive in breath. And, it's just this quick, quick, quick. I could see this action in the throat. I was very, I didn't know what's going on. It didn't seem to align at all with the instructions of this passive in breath. So what's that all about?
Um, I'm not sure.
Well, we'll do it
um,
again. Let's see it on screen.
yeah, yeah. So it's
Go on.
just it's forceful exhale, passive inhale.
Yeah, I know. But there you go. Look, quick. It's quick, quick. I can see it right here in your throat, the base
Yeah,
of the
you're
throat.
naturally
Quick, quick,
going to
quick
see that.
action.
You naturally will
So what's
see
that
that
about?
because
That
there's
that
just
doesn't
the
seem to be
breathing.
passive.
Because it's the natural movement inside your body when you're breathing. It's like he's not, the important thing to know is he's not trying to do that. It's just naturally happening as the breath is passing through your body and as you're just breathing, right? So, and because the exhale is that light, sharp contraction, and then when you relax, right, there's a vacuum created. So naturally, things are going to be moving. So you're going to see this movement of the breath and how, even though we're not consciously trying to activate this center, everything is getting activated in the chakras and energetic system and everywhere that the breath is flowing. So if it's flowing in, right, and it's going to be going past your throat, it's going through, the breath is going through your throat. So you're going to see it, especially because when you exhale, you're creating this vacuum, and then when you relax, there's activity going on in the body. Definitely, you're going to feel it in different areas, and it's good to be aware of that, aware of where you're noticing the sensations in your own body, because the energy is still it's moving up, it's passing through all the chakras. It's passing through the heart chakra that it's moving through, it's going into the throat chakra, and it's even going up into the third eye chakra, especially when we're doing this through the nose, right? That we're consciously kind of creating this striking sensation in the nostrils, and it's just creating more of this focus into the third eye center. So he's not trying to make that happen, it's just naturally happening. But the focus is in the contraction in your abdomen and your diaphragm. This is
Yeah.
important to understand because this is the third chakra too. So when you contract there and then you relax,
Yeah.
yeah, your body's kind of going to be moving a
I,
little bit, right?
I'll show
It's
you
going to be
because I
moving.
think someone asked. Let me see if
No,
I
no,
can.
thank you. Thank you. So what I'll do is not get distracted by someone else's experience, that's his experience, and I'll just focus on the instructions. So that's cleared up. I was very confused about what I saw and what I heard, you see. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at
Okay,
Yeah.
good,
that.
So
good.
here,
That's
Thank you
great.
very much.
And he'll demonstrate now too,
yeah.
just so you can see a little better, everybody.
So maybe you saw it. I wasn't looking at the screen, but maybe you saw that area contracting there. And we can actually play around with things once we do this a little bit more, where we can concentrate it a little bit higher, a couple of fingers higher, just depending on where we in this area between our sacral plexus and our solar plexus, we want to kind of direct this energy. But you'll notice that really the contraction's happening here on the exhale. I don't know if we have time. These are all great questions. There was one more technique I wanted to show you, but yeah, maybe I just will. So the other technique that's helpful to kind of stimulate this area is called Agnis Sari. So essentially, you'll exhale all the air. So, and again, Sylvie, David, and just for others, like she actually, we don't get into a lot of this with like the soul dimension practice, but when we do the holds and we start manipulating the breath in and out, we're creating vacuums in the body. And when we create vacuums, like that's where a lot of energy is really kind of, so you might look at certain things and they might seem one way, but like the vacuum is what's really moving the energy. So Agni Sari, we'll throw the breath out. And then you'll pull the stomach in first just to feel what this is. Almost like you can feel yourself sucking in and up. And you'll bring your chin to your chest. And then before you're ready to kind of complete the round, you'll continue to exhale the air out. Okay? So inhale, exhale all the air out. The next variation of this is inhale and exhale all the air out, pulling the belly in and out. So, sorry for my microphone. So maybe we'll just do one more round and I'll demonstrate too. We are in and so we are one out breath. Yes, so inhale and then exhale the breath out and hold the breath out. And the stomach is in and out. Okay.
That's also a good one to do in the morning after they say usually you have a nice glass of water. It's called the fire wash also, and it's really good for your digestion, help your digestion. Many, many things, but uh, it's to balance that fire, remember everybody, because he's showing you techniques that are about activating and balancing the third chakra. And so we're integrating some of these practices during our soul dimension experience, like Uddiyana Bandha, right? We're accessing a little bit of that, the Uddiyana Bandha, when we hold the breath on the breath in, though. It's a little different. We're holding the breath in, but when we're sucking in the abdomen too, this is activating and taking that energy that's been directed during the practice, especially from the lower chakras, and moving that up into the higher channels of the chakras and into the integration of the third eye. But these techniques are so powerful. And so I think if you wanted to add this Agni Saurdautu or Agnisari, it's really a very good technique in the morning or integrating into your soul dimension practice. Hope that's helpful a little bit there.
Yeah, thank you, Sylvie. Okay, any questions before we jump into the guided breathing and meditation? And thank you for all the great questions. Hopefully it's been helpful to have the space to interact as well. Okay, so wherever you are, again, you're familiar with the practice, so we will be using soul dimension breathing. I have a couple of songs that are tied to the seed sound, and so if the volume you can't hear it, or just let me know. But either find yourself lying down or in a seated position. We'll do 3 rounds of soul dimension breathing. Again, you'll be breathing in and up from the base of the spine to the third eye, and exhale down, effortless, allowing the breath to guide you. Each round will be about 40-ish breaths or so. And then at the end of each round, we'll exhale all the air out of the lungs completely and hold the breath out. Holding the breath out for about a minute. Noticing that when you hold the breath out, maybe after the breath was up and down through the chakras, that there are sensations in the body, colors, images. Trying as best as you can to keep the breath held out for about a minute. If necessary, take a tiny small sip of air in, but then throw the breath back out. At the end of the minute, I'll cue you to take a deep breath in and hold. At this point, we'll pull the belly in towards the spine, pressurizing the air up into the chest and the lungs and the brain and the third eye for about 15 seconds or so. And then exhale, gently release. So for some of you, it might be your first time practicing. For some of you, you might be members and it's not your first time. So at the end, I'm happy to stay on to answer any questions, to kind of explain any physiology or spirituality that might come up. But with that, let us begin breathing wherever you are. And again, for a gentler experience, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For activating more of the sympathetic response, in through the mouth and out through the mouth. So begin breathing, inhaling, noticing your abdomen expand, chest expand, breath rising into the third eye. And as you exhale, gently release. And wave-like continuous breath. Good. Again, just allowing the breath to guide you now. Noticing as you inhale, as your abdomen expands, chest expands, and the breath rises up into your third eye. And as you exhale, gently release, noticing the seed sound, Ram, being chanted in the music. Maybe mentally chanting Ram and focusing on your solar plexus as you inhale and exhale. Just trusting the breath this morning, inviting you into wherever it's wanting to guide you. Maybe noticing if it's deeper or faster or shorter or longer. It's effortless, inhaling and exhaling, noticing as you inhale that your abdomen expands first. Chest, and the breath rises into your third eye, and exhale, release like a wave. Like you're filling up a glass of water. No effort here. Trusting that you're safe in the body, with the breath, guiding you now into deeper states of well-being, physiological, mental, emotional, spiritual. About in the body, taking any movements that feel natural as the breath guides you. Maybe noticing as you inhale any areas in your life control, or feeling doubt or anger. Just allow the fire from the solar plexus to burn away any anger, any doubt, any control. And exhale, release. Good. Again, just noticing maybe as you inhale, the breath rising up from the base of the spine through the solar plexus. Any doubt, anger, control, just allow the fire in this area as you inhale to dissolve. Exhale, release, letting go. Good. Just allowing the breath to wash over you like a wave, nourishing your being, your body, revitalizing your nervous system, recharging your nadis, sending energy up through your chakras. If you're with me, about 3-ish more breaths approximately together for this first round. Inhaling and exhaling. exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling all the air now out of the lungs completely. And hold. Holding the breath out now for about a minute. Until you start to notice the hunger for the breath. You may start to notice tingly sensations in the fingers, toes, maybe lightheadedness. Perfectly normal. Right now there's more carbon dioxide that's building in your body and your bloodstream, which is allowing oxygen to distribute more efficiently to your tissues and cells. Just allow your cells to drink this in. Good, and if you're with me, take a deep breath in. And hold, pulling your belly in towards your spine, pressurizing the air up into your chest and your lungs and your brain, lifting the eyes, gazing at your third eye. Noticing your aura, shimmering, shining, radiant, white light surrounding your being. And exhale, gently release. Good, beginning again, wave-like rhythmic breathing. Noticing as you inhale that the abdomen expands, the chest expands, breath rises into the third eye. And as you exhale, release. Good. Noticing as you inhale that the breath is rising up into and through the solar plexus area associated with fire, casting any thoughts, any desires, any past karma into this flame as the breath rises into the heart space and up into the third eye. And exhale, release, letting go. Allowing the breath to guide you now, deeper and deeper. Breath is all-knowing, most intuitive force we have access to in the body. Just trust that it's guiding you now. Just expanding the breath, rising into the third eye, and as you exhale, letting go. Inhale, notice any thoughts, desires, past karma moving through that flame in your solar plexus area, just burning, dissolving. And as you exhale, release. Allowing the breath to guide you now deeper and deeper states of well-being, physiological, mental, emotional, spiritual. Very little force, just allowing the breath to guide you. Feeling free to move about in the body, taking any poses or stretches that maybe even create more space for your breath. 3-ish more breaths approximately. Inhaling and exhaling. One, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling all the air now out of the lungs completely. And hold. Holding the breath out now for about a minute. And you're starting to notice sensations in the body. Tingling, lightheaded, warm, cold, colors, perfectly normal. And now there's more oxygen available to your tissues and your cells, optimizing repair within the body. Allow your body to drink this in. Good. And if you're with me now, taking a deep breath in. And hold. Pull your belly in towards your spine, pressurizing the air up into your chest and your lungs and your brain, gazing at your third eye. Noticing your aura. There's white light surrounding your body. And exhale, gently release. And again, wave-like rhythmic breathing. Noticing as you inhale that the abdomen expands, chest expands, breath rises into the third eye. And exhale, just releasing. No effort here. No holding at the top or the bottom. Just allowing the breath to flow freely. Good. Just allowing the breath to guide you this round. I am safe. I am rooted. I flow freely. surrender. Good. Noticing as you inhale, breath rising up through the base of the spine, abdomen expanding. Breath passing through this fire in the solar plexus, dissolving any attachments, any karma, any anger, any doubt, any control. Chest expanding as the breath rises, and then breath rising with the third eye. Exhale, releasing. If you're with me, about 3-ish more breaths, approximately together. Inhaling and exhaling. 1. Inhaling and exhaling. 2. Inhaling and exhaling now all the air out of the lungs completely. And hold. Holding the breath out now for about a minute. Beginning to notice any sensation, any colors in the body. Perfectly normal right now. There's more carbon dioxide that's building in the body, allowing oxygen to distribute more efficiently. Just allow your tissues and your cells to drink this in. Good. And if you're with me, or maybe you want to hold the breath out longer, but if you're with me, taking a deep breath in. And hold. Pull your belly in towards your spine, pressurizing the air up into your chest, into your lungs, into your brain, gazing at your third eye, space between your eyebrows. Noticing your aura, shining, shimmering, radiant, light, your being. And exhale, gently release. Starting to return to normal breathing, maybe nostril breathing. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of your chest, of your stomach, even your solar plexus, where we've directed so much energy and attention for the past hour together. Maybe setting an intention for yourself, the sankalpa. It could be a word, it could be a phrase. I act with purpose. I act with strength and clarity, confidence, vitality. Maybe something that has meaning for you as you meditate and integrate into this solar plexus. And just silently repeat it to yourself 3 times. Good. Maybe taking some time just to do a body scan, relax, bringing the attention first down to the feet, toes, the soles, the heels. Allow any tension to melt away. Your ankles completely relaxed. Your calves, your shins, heavy, the weight of gravity pulling them down to the earth. The top of your knees, the backs of your knees, completely relaxed. Your thighs, hamstrings, quad, no longer holding to your femur. Your hips, completely relaxed. Your belly, lower back, completely relaxed. Chest, ribs, space between your shoulders. Your shoulders no longer carrying the weight of control, the weight of doubt, or the weight of anger. Your upper arms and forearms completely relaxed. Hands open, fingers no longer grasping. Soften the muscles in your throat. Your jaw releases. Tension dissolving from your cheeks, your eye socket, temples, forehead, and scalp. Allow any remaining tension just to simply dissolve away from the body, melting into the ether, dissolving with the breath. Bringing your attention to your navel area, your solar plexus. Imagining a fire, a flame. Maybe it has a certain color or size or sensation for you. Just notice this fire in this part of your body, the seat of willpower, of vitality, of purpose, of confidence. Allow this fire to grow, to expand. Just taking a moment to notice any attachments, any desires, any thoughts, or past karma. Just imagining them purify as they dissolve into the flames of the solar plexus. Purifying so that they can be pure, free from likes and dislikes before they enter the heart space. Free from any attachment, free from thought, desire. So that as the energy rises up through the solar plexus, it's purified, filtered, before entering the heart. And then just taking a few moments to meditate on anything that you're throwing into those flames in your solar plexus. And then that pure energy from your heart, just directing it outward. To your brothers, to your sisters, to all human beings. On earth. Gently coming back to the breath, noticing a gentle rise and fall of the abdomen, maybe starting to notice and wiggle the fingers and the toes as you come back into the body. And maybe just taking your time, you're welcome to stay exactly where you are in your meditative state. Or if you and when you feel called, maybe first before opening your eyes, just noticing the backs of your eyes, the eye socket, the space behind your eyeball. And then when you're ready to come back, just slowly opening your eyes. Try not to focus on any single point, but just noticing the field of light and energy in front of you as if you're opening your eyes for the first time. Giving yourself a chance to recalibrate. And as you come back, when you're ready,